कुमार स्वामी नाइक है गोंगो लिबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की
In the news tonight, Nandronga wrongfully blamed, says Rokotui. Ngavoka defends decision to lock out members. And Thongea villagers ready to relocate.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Atera Lendua.
Good evening, Fiji. The Rokotui Nandronga says the Vanua often gets blamed for the increasing number of inmates, but this is not right. Seru Nasangavale says many of the inmates have long relocated to towns and cities, but due to their original ties, Nandronga continues to come in the limelight for the wrong reasons. Saneni Boila reports.
Rokotui says the crime is often committed by those who do not live in the province.
We are dividing it into two, the reactive one and the proactive one. So proactive is dealing with the ones that are in now, and proactive is trying to lessen the number of inmates going in, or offenders, for the people in our villages and our areas today.
The Nandronga Provincial Council is now working with the Fiji Corrections Service to address this issue. Nasangavale says they've also formed a community action for the rehabilitation of ex-offenders or a care committee.
We focus the roles and responsibilities of the Vanua to the root cause of the problem.
During the FCS symposium yesterday, Commander Francis Kin welcomed this support from the province.
It needs a whole-of-nations approach. This is why we are here today to connect with the Vanua, especially the Turanganikoros from the various villages, to come together and talk about how we can reintegrate into society those who have been released.
The FCS has also signed MOUs with provinces of Kandabo, Rewa, Tailevu, Serua, Namosi, Lau and Lomaiviti to educate them on giving a second chance to inmates when they are released from the correction facilities. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
Social Democratic Liberal Party leader William Ngavoka has defended the management board's decision to lock out some MPs from a meeting in Suva yesterday. Ngavoka says SODELPA wants transparency and accountability in the ongoing investigation whereby some members are alleged to be involved with his predecessor, Sitibeni Rambuka. Sanyani Mboila reports Salote Randrondro, Andiliti Ngyoni and a few other MPs were not allowed in the meeting.
A former magistrate and a former police commissioner are part of the panel investigating the alleged involvement of some SODELPA members with Rambuka.
So we want it to be above board and in the hands of professionals. I mean, these are very sensitive matters. We also need to protect our people. You want to make sure that due process is in the hands of highly qualified people.
SODELPA Member of Parliament Salote Randrondro tried using her popularity and vote-based supporters as a ticket to enter, but it did not work.
So I came and I asked those people, they said no. I said, you know, I'm an elected member of Parliament. I have voters behind me and I want to go inside.
Ngavoka says the party took this action as a precautionary measure.
You cannot be playing both sides. You can't be serving two masters. We have to protect the party because the law says that the person can be implicated, likewise the party, if it knowingly allows the person to be part of the party.
This is not the first time SODELPA members were locked out during SODELPA management meeting, as this also happened during Sitibeni Rambuka's tenure. Ngavoka maintains that the process put in place by SODELPA for those involved are fair and within the law. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
3 months after rising flood waters nearly washed away their village during tropical cyclone Yasa, villagers of Thongea in Wainunumbua are anticipating their relocation. Land clearing has already started on the new site, and the villagers are now awaiting the geological survey report. Eleanor Turangeviu has more.
Thongea village sits at the junction of two rivers, and over the years, the erosion of the river banks have consumed the village from both sides. After 18 homes were washed away by the rising floodwaters at the height of tropical cyclone Yasa, the villagers have agreed to relocate.
We don't want our children or future generation to experience what we did here. and we don't want them questioning us as to why a relocation was done.
Minister for Lands and Mineral Resources, Chone Usamate, visited the village yesterday, where he was informed that a new village site has been identified, and with approval given by the landowners, clearing of the land has started.
It will be a permanent relocation. We want to build 32 homes there. We are cutting the timber for the homes.
The villagers are now awaiting the outcome of a geological survey that was conducted on the new site by a team from the Mineral Resources Department.
Some issues with that in relation to the geotech survey that was done by the ministry. I need to follow up on that to make sure that the new site is a good site so that they don't move from the old site to a new site and they have more problems. So
there were 32 homes in the village. 28 were completely destroyed at the height of tropical cyclone Yasa, 18 of which were washed away by the flood waters. The families are still living in tents to date. Eleanor Turangeview, FBC News.
The COVID-19 vaccine will not only benefit Fijians, but also ease border restrictions. Permanent Secretary for Health Dr. James Fong says they will vaccinate registered Fijians and issue them a unique number confirming that they've received the jab. Dipesh Kumar reports.
Fijians who will get the AstraZeneca jabs will allow them to meet the international requirement of obtaining a vaccine passport.
They read of that unique number in one database. They're supposed to see that your name is in the database. And this is why we have been working very hard to ensure that we register first before we get vaccinated.
Fijians can register for the vaccination through the self-registration, and it is only for adults aged 18 and above. Ministry's Head of Family Health, Dr. Rachel Devi, says the data collected through the registration is vital.
And then the credibility of that data at the back end is important in terms of the vaccine passport that you've been talking about. So that's why we're really wanting to push for that period.
Dr. Devi says pregnant women can also get registered so that the ministry has a record. However, they will not be vaccinated. The ministry is also urging Fijians to get registered and vaccinated, as it will provide a better platform for economic growth. Dipesh Kumar, FBC News.
Up ahead, fundraising walk hailed a success. And Bengal Lagoon initiative to safeguard ecosystem.
मैं टोटली दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
The Sai Sanjivani Children's Heart Hospital in Nasese, Suva will be introducing pulse oximetry testing to detect congenital heart disease in children from birth. The test is conducted using a machine known as the pulse oximeter, which is placed on the baby's skin to estimate the amount of oxygen in the baby's blood. Hospital Director Dr. Krupali Tapu says the test can help identify if a baby has a serious heart problem that may not be obvious in the first days of life. Kelly Wadala reports.
The non-invasive procedure is mostly conducted in developed countries such as Australia and the United States.
I've worked in Australia for many years as well, and certainly all babies on discharge have pulse oximetry done. If their oxygen levels are low, they go on to have an echo or a scan of the heart, and quite often you might pick a baby with congenital heart disease. That's another program that we do want to roll out once the hospital starts operating at good capacity.
Dr. Krupali Tapu says early detection is crucial so children can undergo treatment as soon as possible.
We do use a HD stent quite often and pick up cases with children who have murmurs or abnormal heart sounds. They get referred to our screening centre and they come in and have an echo done.
The heart hospital is near completion, and having specialized equipment will boost its medical services once it opens.
This hospital is absolutely magnificent. It is state-of-the-art, and I wanted to make sure it was going to be state-of-the-art. If you look around, the equipment, most of the equipment comes from Germany.
The $25 million development currently under construction will offer treatment not only to hundreds of children in Fiji but across the South Pacific as well. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Initial investigation on how the 35 students of Dinbandu Memorial School in Suva fell ill after consuming chocolate has been completed. The chocolates were consumed by the Year 5 students last Wednesday during a birthday celebration. 2 students who were admitted at the CWM hospital have been discharged. Health Minister Dr. Firemi Wangai-Nambete says more tests are being conducted.
The specimens have been sent to various labs, including our lab. So we're waiting for the test result to come back. Then our environmental health office will bring the results up to permanent secretary and then myself, and then from there we'll take it from there. But now it's about just ascertaining the laboratory findings that will come through.
A non-profit organization today took on a major challenge to raise funds for the victims of the recent cyclone in Vanua-Levu. Around 50 volunteers joined Make a Difference Fiji to walk a total of 18.55 kilometers from Nosori town to Ratu Sukuna Park in Suva. Dipesh Kumar with this report.
Founder Renus Nosil says a lot of people approached them to give donations.
Really, every vehicle that went past, they donated to us. It was such a huge success, and the amount of support, the amount of cheers that we got while coming all the way down from Nusuri to Ratu Sukuna Park, it was so amazing.
The group filled around 20 donation cans, which will later be counted and sent to Batiri village in Vanua-Levu. Snowsill says the people are in need of beddings, water tanks and building materials. Meanwhile, the volunteers say they are excited to be part of the event.
At the request that we got from Vanua-Levu, it's been overwhelming, it's been out of our control, and so this is a good time. And this walk will be a great opportunity to give back to the people of Vanua-Levu.
We're doing this for a good cause, for Vanua-Levu. We want to give back to the people of Vanua-Levu. They have suffered a lot during this pandemic, and plus the TC Yasa.
The non-profit organization has done a few projects similar to this to help the people of the North. Dipesh Kumar, FBC News.
A mangrove planting program is being undertaken in Benga to restore the marine ecosystem, as this is the main source of food for the villagers. The Pacific Blue Foundation, through its Benga Lagoon initiative, is focusing on facilitating nature-based solutions to alleviate poverty and enhance community development. Jeshulal reports.
The initiative aims to preserve some of the most endangered species of the marine ecosystem found in the Benga Lagoon that are threatened by climate change.
Benga Lagoon as well contain a variety of different sites with lush mangrove forests, which are nursery grounds and habitats for a diversity of different creatures, from the turtles to the hammerhead sharks.
In some of the communities in Benga, we've also done some nurseries. But that's the initial phase. Now we are looking into developing that, in creating a mangrove restoration program in some of the communities in Benga.
Pacific Blue Foundation is working directly with local communities to develop and implement mangrove and coral reef restoration programs.
Looking into developing and applying nature-based solutions to threats, as well as preserving some of the intact environments and habitats which are there, such as the pristine primary forest.
The project also focuses on educating the people of Benga about the lagoon's ecosystem and the ways in which it can be preserved. Jeshulal, FBC News.
Up ahead in sports, Natambua and Jesper reign at Lotoka Zone. And 32 new teams for Mars Sevens. This and more coming up.
Bola, ang gono Lotoka butalita ka ng Bola FM bertini number 2 NSR.
Bola FM number 2 NSR.
Natambua High School has retained its title in the Lotoka Zone Boys Division, scooping 38 gold, 22 silver and 4 bronze medals. In second place is St. Thomas High School with 3 gold, 7 silver and 11 bronze medals, while Bar Provincial Freebird Institute takes third place with 2 gold, 4 silver and 4 bronze medals. The girls from Delena Moli Jesper Williams High School dominated their division, walking away with 22 gold, 22 silver and 10 bronze medals. Natambo High School followed in second with 14 gold, 10 silver and 7 bronze medals. In third place is Central College Lotoka with 5 gold, 5 silver and 8 bronze medals. 3 hours of running on the beach in Yasawa paid off for Ulamila Wata today. The Yasawa High School student impressed the crowd in the Open Girls 3,000 meters event at the Lotoka Zone, clocking a time of 12 minutes and 34 seconds. Venina Rakautonga has more.
Despite all odds, Vata overcame it for the final prize.
We always wake up early every morning around 5 and we train in school along the beach, and we do runs from my village, which is Kese village, to Yasawa High School, which takes 3 hours for me.
The 15-year-old came out firing, sprinting in the last 200 meters of the race.
Coming to Lotoka for the zone, I know that there are giant schools like Natambua and Jasper, but I wasn't worried about that. I was determined, and I believe moving on to the Cokes, I can do better.
Trainer Tomasi Nicola says teamwork was the secret ingredient.
There's so many struggles we came across, but we were thankful for parental support, which was strong. We worked together, and I think that was our strength coming into the zone.
The Yasawa-based team managed to secure 3 gold medals in the second day of the Lotoka Zone competition. Venina Rakautonga, FBC Sports.
Weeks of sacrifice and training has paid off for young Netani Kepa of Natamboa High School after breaking the sub-junior discus record during the Lotoka Zone. Kepa threw a distance of 28.21 meters, smashing the old record of 27.57 meters, with the ultimate aim of a gold medal during the Coca-Cola Games. Felipe Naikaso has more.
13-year-old Netani Kepa is now aiming to mirror his performance during today's Lotoka Zone when he competes with the best from around the country during the Coca-Cola Games.
I'm aiming for gold, try to beat the record for the Cokes and achieve something there.
Kepa also took part in the sub-junior shot put today, and despite finishing second, the Year 9 student is content with his performance.
I felt proud of myself, happy and thankful that I was able to achieve something for the first day in high school.
Another athlete to look out for is 19-year-old Sulasi Rika, who broke the Lotoka Zone senior boys high jump record of 1.97 meters. The old record was 1.95 meters.
It was a surprise for me to break a record because I've been doing a lot of hard work and training, and I just want to thank the Lord for giving me this talent.
Rika, who came third in the 2019 Coke Games Interboys High Jump, says he has unfinished business in the Fiji finals. Felipe Naikaso, FBC Sports.
Teams from Vanua-Levu, Kadavu, Lau and Yasawa will get to rub shoulders with some of the best local sevens teams in the upcoming 45th Fiji Bitter Sapphire Mars Sevens. The farthest travelling team that will feature in the tournament is Moala, who will be making their debut. Talei Matairakula reports.
Fitness might be
the tournament lives by its promise to develop grassroots rugby.
It makes it very exciting because it creates the unknown to be a bigger part of the tournament. I think what's equally important as well is that these teams have prepared well.
A total of 32 new teams have joined the tournament this season to get a taste of top-level rugby.
The Fiji team will have its time cut up for them, and it's a win-win situation. And our role here is to develop on the side, develop the grassroots rugby, but at the same time provide the opportunity for the Fiji team to have quality game times, which is much needed now as they build up for the bigger picture, which is the Olympics.
The 48 teams will play for a greater purpose.
We want to make sure that the country get back to normalcy. And it's rightly so that we're honouring our frontliners. Because without our frontliners, we wouldn't be here.
A total of $47,000 is up for grabs in the 3-day tournament, which will be played from next Thursday to Saturday. Talei Matairakula, FBC Sports.
The Rebels outclassed Waratahs 33-14 in their Super Rugby AU clash in Melbourne last night. 19-year-old Bradman Best inspired the Knights to claim a 2016 win over the Warriors last night. Best stepped up with 5 minutes left, busting the line and offloading to winger Hymel Hunt to score the winner. Mohamed Alam saved Rewa Football from recording their second loss in the Digicel Premier League. Alam saved a last-minute penalty kick from Lambasa's Ilisoni Longaiwo to keep the match at a 0-0 draw at Subrel Park in Lambasa. Dalei Matei Rukula reports.
Debuting for Rewa, Mohamed Alam stepped up to the job.
Our boys played really well. It was our game for us. Well, the last-minute penalty, the crowd were on their feet. I was confident that he would kick on my left, and then it was a good game.
Lambasa is yet to score any goal after the third round.
The boys, they're doing very well, but the only problem we're lacking is the goal. And I think they had a lot of chances, our midfielders and the backline. They really did well, strikers too, but only the goals were not scored, so it goes to the individual decision-making in front of the goal.
After the third round, Lambasa has 3 points on the DPL standing, while Rewa has 2. Tali Materkula, FBC Sports.
One of the oldest volleyball clubs in the country, the McCoy Drifters, hopes to restore some lost glory this year. The club made its mark 20 years ago, producing some of the most prominent volleyballers in the country, with the likes of Gilu Elliott, Uraya Wangatambu and Sai Nayavalevu. Caroline Tavi has more.
The McCoy Drifters have been struggling for the last 10 years, and they hope to make a comeback in the Suva Volleyball Association competition.
Many of the members have left the club due to work commitments. Now there is only 2 veterans that is left club from when the club was formed 20 years ago.
Veteran player Manasa Nukuvo says the style of play has changed over the years and they need to adapt to be able to compete with the young teams in the competition.
The level of competition has really intensified as compared to when I started. We will have to get in line with it, especially the pace of the game. It is faster and more competitive, especially when you're playing with young players.
Suva Volleyball Association Interim President Kemuele Nangama says teams like the McCoy Drifters need the exposure in order to elevate the sport in their community.
Kind of tournament gives them the opportunity to enter into real competition with other teams.
So far, Suva Volleyball Association has registered 42 teams. 29 are men and 13 are women's teams. Carlini Tavi, FBC Sports.
Sporting fraternities from around the country had a fruitful 2-day discussion at the 2021 National Sports Conference held at the Suva's Grand Pacific Hotel. After the COVID pandemic last year, the Fiji National Sports Commission and various sporting bodies had to adjust to the new norm. The conference focused on sports development in the country and how to deal with the pandemic.
We know what those challenges are like, and we're going to talk about virtual sports now. We're having world events virtually on, so weightlifting held one here recently.
Mainly fine weather was experienced over most places today. In the west, mostly warm conditions with a passing shower. From Pacific Harbour to Suva, delightful conditions with intervals of clouds and sunshine. And in the north, more clouds than sun, some afternoon showers experienced. At sea, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, moderate seas. The next high tide is at 7 minutes past midnight, followed by low tide at 6:01 tomorrow morning. Sunrise is at 6:10. For tomorrow, occasional showers and isolated thunderstorms over eastern and northern parts over Nolevu, Taviuni, and nearby smaller islands and northern Lau Group. Cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of Vitilevu. Outlook for Monday is fine conditions. Recapping our main stories, Nadronga wrongfully blamed, says Rokotui, Ngavoka defense decision to lock out members, and Vongea villagers ready to relocate. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we're asking, should Fiji kava exporters found mixing local and foreign kava have their license revoked? Visit our FBC website to answer. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook and Twitter accounts. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, stay safe and Modamanda.
Hi, I'm Ini from Raki Raki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.